Hey friends, it is Wednesday, so we are all set up for one of our Worldly Wednesday classes over the history of industrial design. I'm sorry I can't be with you, but I've created some videos and a lesson plan that you'll be able to follow along for class. Plus, you have a great sub. Now, understand, things don't always go according to plan, so we'll try to do the Kahoot and we'll try to follow the lesson plan. But if it doesn't work out, just go with the flow, and when class is over, you'll move on to your next lesson. All right, so where I am in Notebook is under Worldly Wednesday, Profession of Industrial Design, and this is where you're going to find the lesson plan again and some of the things that we are doing today. And as you can see, I've got a Kahoot I've made at the very beginning. This is one of those things that I hope works for you. If not, we'll do it next time. It's a Kahoot about the history of industrial design, and it goes over some of the things we already learned in class. Next, the ATL for the day is going to be a reflection skill. And we'll do this at the end of class. I'll show you where it is. And I want you to think about and answer some questions in a Microsoft form. The questions are, what did I learn about today? What do I not yet understand? And what questions do I have now? And you're going to reflect on the discussions and all the things that you learn about today when you're filling out this form. Let me show you where it is. We're going to all the way to the bottom. And that's where you find this Microsoft form. If you click on the form, it will take you to 3 questions. Now wait till the end of class because you'll answer based on your discussion and interesting things that you learn and videos and so forth. The objectives I have for you today are 1, articulate what an industrial designer does. I hope by the end of the lesson today, you'll understand what an industrial designer does at work and probably what education you need in order to be an industrial designer. The second objective is I want you to understand and be able to tell somebody about the impact of Raymond Loewy. He was the forefather of industrial design as a profession. And he started a business and he did some pretty great things. So we're going to talk about this. Actually, you're going to talk about this a little later. There's some discussions I want you to have in class. I want you to talk about what skills an industrial designer has, what global context Raymond Loewy designed from, or actually ran his business from, and what learner profile trait you think Raymond Loewy exemplified. Again, here's that link to the Kahoot. Now, at the beginning of class, I would like you to answer some questions before you know anything based on your experience of living in the world and maybe from this class. First question I have is, what skill do you think an industrial designer should have? You're going to talk about that with each other. Again, before you know anything, I'd like to know about your prior experience, what you've already gleaned, what you think an industrial designer, what skills they should have. Then you're going to talk about, can you go to school to become an industrial designer? Is that a thing? And what kind of educational background should you have if you want to be an industrial designer? So before you learn anything, have that discussion. As you move along, there's a video here that you will watch. Your teacher can decide whether you watch that independently on your computer or whether you all watch it together. It's a long video. It's 9 minutes or so, but it's really good. So you can watch the whole 9 minutes if you want, or watch at least the first 5. After you watch that video, I want you to revisit those questions. What skills should an industrial designer have? Can you go to school to become one? What kind of education should you have to be an industrial designer? And if you have a job and the title is industrial designer, what do you do all day? Think about the video that you saw. As you move down, you're going to see some pictures and another video. I'd like you to watch this video that's the almanac, almanac of designer Raymond Loewy. This was on the news and it was a little short video. It's about 2 minutes long about Raymond Loewy, his life, and some of the designs that he created. After the video, I have some things I would like students to read and respond to in a discussion. So maybe one student reads the quote from the article I've selected, and then somebody responds to that quote. I have several as you move down. Sometimes the quote has a picture that goes along with it. All right. After you've done learning and looking at things about Raymond Loewy, I would like you to have a discussion over the global context. So we've done this in many classes. Think about Raymond Loewy and those little items I've pulled out of the article and that you have discussed. What global context, there are 6 of them right here, what global context do you think Raymond Loewy not only designed from, but ran his business from? I'd like several of you to not only describe what global context you think Raymond Loewy came from, but how? How is that reflected in what you heard and learned today? The next thing I would like you to do is talk about the IB learner profile traits. Several of you should think about the traits and decide which one you think Raymond Loewy and Raymond Loewy's life exemplifies. Then explain. After you're done with everything else in the lesson plan, and I have some extra videos you can look at below and some information that I didn't go over that you can certainly read. But the final thing you're going to do is this Microsoft form. Okay, that's the plan for today. If you finish early, you can definitely work on some other homework that you have. This would be a great time to do that. So do the lesson, watch the videos, fill out the Microsoft form. I hope you get to do the Kahoot. And then your time is yours to work on something that you need for another class period. I will see you next time. Good job, friends. And make sure that you are ready for our next class. You should have all of B3, those 3 tables done, and ready to work on annotating your chosen podcast script. All right, see you soon.